Hello, and welcome to the Career Club podcast. I am your host, Madeleine Hendricks, recruitment specialist and serial entrepreneur with a passion for educating job seekers on how to get ahead of the employment game. Our title for this episode is Happen to Your Career. If you are unhappy with your job, you need to take action. Don't just sit around waiting for the situation to fix itself, because it won't. What we forget is that we are always one decision away from creating a completely different life for ourselves. And the magic is that we have everything we need inside of us to design the life we want. This is even more prominent when we talk about our careers. Some of you might find yourselves in a job that you hate, doing something that you don't like, or even worse, being in an organization where you don't want to be. So let's talk about the strategy for an exit plan if this is where you are, or if you are listening to this podcast today as a school leaver or a recent graduate, the process will still be the same. Let's think about this as a roadmap. We hardly ever go on a trip without a plan, right? So why would we do the same with our careers? So I want you to picture a map. Let's look at our end goal in line first. Sometimes it's easier to decide where we're going to go or how we are going to get there if we have the end result in mind. So I'm going to use an example to create a roadmap with you here today, but I want to encourage you to go back to this podcast, stop and pause as you go along the process and design this roadmap for your career. This roadmap principle has helped me through many different kinds of goals and dreams that I was chasing, and I know that this will do the same for you. So let's start with the roadmap. If I had to put my end goal in line, I would say, where do I want to be in 5 years from now? Or where would I want to work in 7.5 years from now? All of our goals look different and they are not the same. But let's start with 5 years from now. When I look at all of the skills that I have, my personality, and all of the places where I think I could find a career that will match my personality, I always seem to find myself in a sales role. So let's say that in 5 years from now, I would like to be the sales manager of a large FMCG organization. FMCG is fast-moving consumer goods, but this can be anything. This could be logistics, it could be pharmaceutical, it could be manufacturing. There are many great industries in our country for you to consider, but for this roadmap, I am going with fast-moving consumer goods. Now, if that's my end goal in line, I need to find out then, where am I now? Where am I finding myself in my current situation? This means taking an inventory of your life with complete openness and complete transparency about where you are finding yourself in your life right now. For argument's sake, let's say I am currently finding myself as a sales rep at a medium, small organization. But I would like to see myself at a big, large organization being a national sales manager. Now I need to first find out, this is step number 1. What are the different job titles that I have to be in order to get to my end destination? So as a sales rep, we can use the internet because we are very lucky to be born in a global era where we have got digital solutions at our footprint all the time. So don't be scared to Google if you don't know the answer. Or even better, Google it so that you can either see if you are missing out on something that you might not have had on your list. So as a sales rep where I am right now, and I want to get to a national sales manager, what are the job titles in between that I need to work on? This is step number 1. These roles could look like being an assistant to the national sales manager, being a sales rep, sales executive, regional sales, what is the positions in between where I am now and my goal, so that I know what am I working towards next, but also where am I learning from. So when I'm in my job or in my environment, can I spend more time with the sales rep, the regional or the national sales manager, so that I can learn from their job, so that when I do get to that position, I will be already ahead of the game. That is exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is finding out who is the companies that you need to work for in order to get to the company that you have listed down as your main company that you want to work with. I hope that we realize that we are not only following job titles, but we are also following companies and organizations, because these organizations have values that are aligned with our values. But also when we talk about remuneration, we also want to talk about the benefits that companies are offering. So it's really important to have a look at which companies are the ones that you want to work for, and how are you going to use these companies to get to your ultimate company and your ultimate goal. Companies like candidates who have got experience working at their competitors, because in this way, these companies understand that these employees know what the competitor is doing, how the competitor operates, not necessarily to steal ideas or anything like that, but simply just because they are able to have an insight to something that this company doesn't have an insight to. So, second job is to list all of the companies that you would need to work for. Now our map can start looking like something already. So let's say we are now making a roadmap. You can be very specific about this goal and say that I want to be this job title at this company, and then I want to move forward to this job title at that company. So now we're creating a roadmap which is getting us to our ultimate career success. I'm excited to be sharing a little bit of a template with you, which you are going to find on my website, www.madeleinehendricks.co.za. And this roadmap is going to help you to find the goalposts, and it's going to help you to find the ways of how you can map out your career in more detail. I'm really excited because in my next podcast, I'm going to be unmapping the career of a guest on my podcast. So we will be able to look into happen to your career and creating a roadmap in more detail, where we're not looking at superficial ideas, but where we're really unmapping one of my guests' roadmap for their career on this podcast, and you definitely don't want to miss out on this one. I want to inspire you to start. I use sticky notes on a table, and this helps me to map out and visually see how everything comes together. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I really hope that over the next couple of episodes, you will find it inspiring to know that you can happen to your career. Everything that you need is already inside of you. You can make the best of a life that you truly want to live for. For more about me, Madeleine Hendricks, please pop onto my website, which is www.madeleinehendricks.co.za. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We are careerclub.podcast. And if you want to share some love, please do, but also share with the ones you love. Ciao for now.